Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. DPS is seeking your help in obtaining information about a burglary at AMP. Also tonight, Medicaid will soon be available to some non-U.S. citizens. We have the details. And the MARIANAS is receiving millions of dollars to continue disaster recovery. In sports, 28 years and still going on strong. It's the Battle of the Badges. Stay with us. These stories and more are next. Did I spell that?
Holidays happening at Docomo Pacific's Red Friday. Purchase select phones on our popular Now program and choose a free gift, like free wireless earphones or huge discounts on the latest smartwatch. Prepaid friends get free load with select prepaid phones. And get a chance to win a Nintendo Switch when you take a selfie with our new AI dog, Spark. Come in for a happening holiday now. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537.
Wow, we made it. Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you for watching KSPN2 News. It's been our pleasure to serve you. We're already looking forward to 2020. Have a great one.
Hafa Day, Tirwami, and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Thursday, December 5th, 2019. A male has been arrested on charges of child abuse, assault and battery, and disturbing the peace. 32-year-old Theodore Penos has a cash bail set at $5,000. On Tuesday, June 4th, 2019, officers from the Department of Public Safety were called to Cagman High School for a complaint of child abuse. 4 witnesses reported seeing Penos shouting at 3 children, one of which was a little girl, where Penos allegedly pulled her hair and punched the backside of her body while taking the kids from the school. Officers later found out Penos is the stepfather of the children. One of the witnesses reported the mother has one more strike before the children are taken away by the Department of Youth Services. A status conference is set for January 7th at 1:30 p.m. And bail remains at $25,000 for a male that was arrested for burglarizing a Garapan restaurant. Today in the courtroom of Judge Bogdan, 18-year-old Austin Areola had a bail modification and is released to his uncle as a third-party custodian. Areola is facing count 1 of burglary. On Tuesday, November 26th, the Department of Public Safety officers responded to New Majestic Restaurant in Garapan for a reported burglary and theft. The owners of the restaurant showed officers the shattered window and said they saw 2 males running away from the establishment and that money had been taken. Officers located the 2 males later that night. Officers brought the owner of the New Majestic Restaurant to the location, who identified Areola and a minor as the 2 who had robbed his establishment. Areola is under house arrest. An arraignment is scheduled for December 16th. The Department of Public Safety is seeking your help in locating suspects involved in a burglary and theft incident at American Memorial Park. According to a release from DPS, on Monday, December 2nd, officers were called to American Memorial Park, where the caller stated items were missing from their red-colored Ford Mustang rental car. The caller stated the vehicle was parked at AMP around 10:30 a.m., and when the renters returned, their bags were no longer there. Items reported missing include a backpack, cell phone, Apple MacBook Air laptop, an Apple Watch, a wallet, Apple AirPods, a key case, tote bag, passport, and driver's license. If you have any information related to the burglary and theft, call 911, or to remain anonymous, call the CNMI Crime Stalkers at 234-7272. Up on Capitol Hill, the Association of Pacific Island Legislatures work together in providing health care for some non-U.S. citizens. Our Sally Lemus has more.
It is day 2 for the April board meeting, and the first resolution has been written. This resolution is to restore Medicaid coverage for citizens of the freely associated states lawfully residing in the United States. The resolution was introduced by representatives from the CNMI and Guam, who says this movement will greatly help the economy in terms of financial matters.
Many years ago, they were eligible, and I understand the U.S. Congress inadvertently took that out. So therefore, they are not eligible for Medicare. But they are still paying taxes for Medicare, but they're not eligible to receive it. And as we all know, that has caused a significant burden on the hosting states that welcomes citizens from the freely associated states. For example, CNMI, Hawaii, I understand Arkansas, Oregon, Guam. So the only way that the U.S. has helped out these states, these island territories, is through what it's called compact impact. But the expenses that they expend for Medicare and other services is lower than what the compact impact provides for. So with this resolution, we get to ask the U.S. the U.S. Senate is actually already introduced it, and we support that. We support that bill, and we support the House resolution to reinstate Medicare for freely associated state citizens.
In 1996, the United States Congress excluded citizens from the Compact of the Free Association countries from certain federal benefits, which included being qualified for Medicaid. Under the COFA are the Federated States of Micronesia, the Republic of the Marshall Islands, and the Republic of Palau. With this resolution and the contribution they have given to the United States, they may be able to once again be qualified for this healthcare service.
As we were talking about yesterday, these were elements that were part of those original negotiations, and it is about providing dignity to people that are contributing and that are sacrificing in that relationship between places that have these agreements in Micronesia with the United States. So we're reinstating it, that original language, that original concept of giving them human dignity, and giving them the ability to have that contribution that they are providing in our communities be recognized.
Representatives expressed their gratitude for this movement, for it has been long overdue.
Well, I'm in support of the resolution because as a member of the COFA countries or entities, I feel and I believe that our citizens who are residing in the United States do need to have means of supporting themselves in terms of health. It's very costly. Health cost is very high, and it's hard for them to, it's difficult for them to be able to support themselves in terms of having enough to pay for their medical expenses in the U.S. And so I'm in support of the resolution. I think it'll give the U.S. legislature or Congress to be able to pass it, and that will benefit our citizens.
This is Sally Lemus for KSPN News.
Thanks, Sally. MVA says they will investigate what happened recently at the Hong Kong airport when a former resident was required to take a pregnancy test prior to boarding. Our Chris Nelson has more on this.
Midori Nishida got some alarming news just before her last flight to Saipan from Hong Kong when the airline asked her if she was pregnant and then required her to prove that she wasn't prior to boarding. Proving it means taking a pregnancy test inside a public restroom. She says the company made her go into a bathroom stall with a staffer and take the test.
How are you feeling inside when they ask you to do this?
Well, at first I was really shocked and confused. As I said, this is unheard of. And after going through the form that they asked me to sign, I started feeling humiliated and very angry because, this is obviously not a random test. You've decided to make me take this test based on what you observed was, me possibly being pregnant. And I thought, that's if I have to be honest, it seems discriminatory towards, a person's appearance.
Reaction from Governor Torres. Hong Kong Express made her take a pregnancy test before she got on the plane. Is this something that you have heard about or know anything about?
No, this is the first time for me to hear, but just hearing that, it's,
reaction.
Yeah, you're definitely going against your privacy. I have never heard any airline that has done that. If there's anything, if you look pregnant, then show me documents that you are. How long are you into it? But to actually take you and go into pregnancy, it's, I don't know.
At the MVA board meeting, Marianne Aldon Pierce has asked MVA to contact the airline.
A passenger was asked to take an invasive personal test, and we would like to reach out to the airlines to find out more about the incident and see, just so we can prevent it from happening again.
The Marianas is receiving $244 million for disaster relief. It's the single largest amount of federal funds ever for the Marianas. Congressman Gregorio Khalili Sablan announced that the $244 million Community Development Block Grant will be used to cover unmet needs in disaster recovery that is not covered by FEMA, Small Business Administration, and the Army Corps of Engineers. Congressman Sablan says, quote, "Getting federal recovery funding above and beyond what the Marianas has gotten in the past was our number one priority in the days after Typhoon Mangkhut and Super Typhoon U2. We worked very hard through June when Public Law 116-20 was finally signed into law to make sure the Marianas got the help we need," end quote. Sablan also ensured the law set aside $130 million for needs including $2 million for financial control systems, $10.4 million for sewer and water infrastructure, $56 million for solid waste facilities, $35 million for Marianas Medicaid, and $25 million for food stamps. The CDBG disaster relief can be used to rebuild homes, businesses, infrastructure, and tourism marketing. The release states there are also strict requirements for financial controls, as this is a large amount of money going to the Marianas, which draws concern for local capacity to manage the funds. The Housing and Urban Development team briefed Commonwealth officials on standards that must be met. $189 million will come from Public Law 115-254, and $55 million will come from Public Law 116-20, totaling to $244 million. Coming up, we check in with a scientist that's on island preparing to survey the ocean and the reefs in the Marianas. Find out more after the break.
ITN's data was still working. It was easier for us to communicate with family. We would video call, show them around, like this is how bad it hit Rhoda. During the typhoon, when we were struggling to get back on our feet, ITN pushed back the date for when to pay your bill. They were helping us so that we don't have to spend the money. Instead of using it for the bill, we used it to help us to get back on our feet. I'm Vaina Lizama and I'm with the network that works.
It's that time of year again, the holiday season, and I want to thank you, the viewers, for tuning into our new show. I'm excited to spend another Christmas here on the beautiful island of Saipan, surrounded by my friends. I want to wish all of you out there a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
have a team or company? Bring them to the Adventure Specialist, Saipan's homegrown Marianas Trekking. Our guided adventures will challenge and excite you, and our award-winning photographers will capture it in a unique and unforgettable way. Check out our off-roading, go-karting, mountain biking, hiking, and snorkeling. And we have top-notch rental gear too. So bring your team, bring your family, or bring your best friend. Marianas Trekking inside the Mariana Resort.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. The archipelago of the Mariana Islands are about to get extensively mapped for the first time since the 70s. Dr. Evan Howell is the Deputy Director for the Pacific Islands Fisheries. The scientist and manager is based in Honolulu and is on island this week preparing for a 2020 mission that will survey the ocean and the reefs in the Marianas. Our Chris Nelson interviews him on the shores of the Saipan Lagoon.
We work for the National Marine Fisheries Service, but a lot of the coral work is in partnership with the National Ocean Service. And so they do a lot of the coastal mapping, and you'll probably see them in the coastal nautical charts. You'll see the NOAA nautical charts.
Right.
This is the group that creates those charts, and they're real excited because these charts were made in the 70s. There's been some updates, but this is their chance to come back and do a complete redesign and remap all these areas.
So I'm guessing from the 70s to now, the technology that creates these maps has gotten exponentially better.
Absolutely. So the hope is that they'll be able to go out and with even less effort get higher resolution maps, so get a lot more detail. And this will be great. It'll take some time for these maps to be developed, but they'll be able to be used for navigation. And so it's a really important product that hopefully you guys will be able to see in pretty short turnaround, and it'll be direct benefit to the fishers and the communities here.
Is that primarily for navigation, or is it also for fishing boats to find spots they didn't know before? How's it used?
Sure. So there's two different products, and the first product is the coastal maps that come out, and those are for navigation. So these coastal maps that you probably see, we have them back in the office here on Beach Road, is that they show you exactly in fathoms how deep things are, allow boats to know how far in they can go depending on their draft. The other product that they're working on is more what we call habitat maps. And those are maps that really show detail of what the bottom of the ocean look like. And that's really important for us for a few reasons. One is that it helps us define what we call essential fish habitat, the habitat that fish need to survive. And we also use that to designate where we look at our boundaries for doing stock assessments. So a lot of the information we're collecting as part of the coral reef cruise gets into these assessments, the coral reef assessments and the fish assessments on the coral reefs.
How is our coral doing when you look at the island chain? We're on Saipan right now. How is the coral in Saipan?
So you're probably aware, depending, there's things that are inside our control and outside of our control. I think in terms of the fishing and the impacts to the reef, I think that a lot of the islands in Guam and CMI, I would say that the corals are doing pretty well from a fishing standpoint. In terms of the bleaching that happens, as you know, that the waters have becoming warmer, and what happens if the waters are warm for too long of a period and it goes over a critical temperature, the corals will bleach, and that's that whiting that you will see. And so there's been more of that we've seen in specific areas, and that's been a concern. So a lot of the cruises that come out, they look at how much of the coral area is bleached, how much of it may have been bleached in the past that has recovered, and you can learn a lot from that to try to figure out, again, not just monitoring how corals are doing, but how we might be able to do something within our control to help with the restoration of corals that might have seen some of the bleaching or disease.
On Guam, Public Works is doing a full assessment on the health center after an electrical fire from faulty wiring. KUAM reports.
Hafare Sinamai, here's what's making news on Guam. The main public health center in Manila remains closed indefinitely after an electrical fire last week. Services normally provided there are being moved to other DPHSS locations. The fire department declared it a safety hazard because of faulty wiring. Here's the latest. Public Works is now doing a full assessment, and DPW Director Jess Garcia says it appears the electrical load has become unbalanced after 46 years of add-ons.
New sections of the building were added, new air conditioning systems. They had a central unit before, and now they're running split units, equipment, computer upgrades and stuff like that. So the original building, when it was designed, wasn't designed for all of these other additional stuff. So they added more electrical loads onto the panel.
Public Health is still trying to move out of the building as employees are being dispersed to other offices. DPHSS is looking to lease some additional space temporarily. We caught up with a very busy director, Linda DeNorsi, who says their top priority now that the SNAP and CAP programs are back online is ensuring critical records are safe.
These are vital information of all our patients that come into the Department of Public Health. And so you can see all my staff are working so diligently in getting all the boxes assembled. Come over here. This is our medical records. We want to assure the public that your records are safe and that they're all being boxed in and numbered so that there's no error. We're going to secure them in a safe place. That part of the contingency plan, of course, is to move those vital records and keep them safe. And also our Office of Vital Statistics is another record that we want to make sure that we are in good shape.
She says the smoke coming from the building last week may have come from the Vital Statistics section, but there was no fire damage. Meanwhile, DPW's Garcia says there's no timeline yet for when the assessment will be done or when and if the building will be reopened.
In order for us to get the building back to open, we have to bring it up to code, and then right now the engineers are estimating what it's going to cost to bring it up to code, and from there we will take what our next steps are.
For now, it remains closed, and those in need of the many services Public Health provides will have to go to one of their other offices. Call ahead to the Northern and Southern Health Centers or the Castle Mall office in Mangilao. Stay connected via our KUAM mobile news app. Follow us on any of the social media platforms and sign up for our weekly email newsletter, KUAM Digital Digest on KUAM.com. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Thank you, Nestor. All right, coming up in the KSPN2 Sports Report, no such thing as a bad day at the beach where losing a game doesn't even feel bad. Feel Good Sports is next.
Holidays happening at Docomo Pacific's Red Friday. Purchase select phones on our popular Now program and choose a free gift, like free wireless earphones or huge discounts on the latest smartwatch. Prepaid friends get free load with select prepaid phones. And get a chance to win a Nintendo Switch when you take a selfie with our new AI dog, Spark. Come in for a happening holiday now. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
Watch the Visitors Channel online, on time, anytime at saipantv.com. Where to go, what to see, what to do. Restaurants, spas, activities, and culture. It's all in one place, in high definition, on your mobile device. saipantv.com. Check it out.
You deserve more. I know it's been hard. Come on, let's go for a ride.
Welcome to Dow Rent to Own.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now this feels like home.
Dial Rent to Own. Making lives better since 1987.
Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans, funny how some tournaments catch on while others start up and fizzle out. Regional law enforcement agencies have made sure that their annual Goodwill tournaments continue to roll. Today, the opening of the Battle of the Badges tournament on Capitol Hill. The beginning of a tournament that started a long time ago, says tournament honcho Henry Latu-Lamar.
Began 28 years ago, to be exact. Started out with Customs Guam, Customs Saipan, and then we developed into other law enforcement agencies. Right now here there's 6 teams. There's 1 team from Guam, 2 teams from Palau, and 3 teams from Saipan.
Sports, just an excuse for these like-minded people to get together.
Yeah, this is actually a network between the law enforcement on the islands to, counter the counterfeits, drugs that are coming in, to discuss what they're seeing on each island. So it's more than just a sabo game.
In action on the diamond this afternoon, Danny Jeppin uses CNMI DPS's last home run to rout Palau Lawman.
Ooh, nice.
Nice out.
And that's their 5th home run.
That tournament's going to run all through the week up until Saturday night for the championship. Beach volleyball returned to Fiesta Beach Saturday thanks to aggressive Saipan International School students. They were playing for a cause, one of which was to have fun. Hey, good morning. Oh, people. Oh, the slammer. Was that good?
No good.
No good.
No good.
He
Beach volleyball could not.
Cannot carry.
Yeah, and beach.
Only
yes.
go to
Indoors, yes.
This one-day special event was organized by SIS students for the benefit of SIS students, as explained by SI student Malika Miyawaki.
It's for our senior trip fundraiser.
Where are you going?
Japan.
What are you gonna do there?
Just
play beach volleyball?
No.
13 teams competed in 2 age divisions. The Munchkins won U13 with the help of Helen Kim, Danny Lee, Daniel Lam, and Siohee Kim. Sandy Andy in the blue with Mac Gintu, Andy Kim, Julian Jol, Chris Kim, and Sam Maria won the U18 because, well, they got into other players' heads.
Heads up! Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Let's roll at Gold's Gym Saipan with group exercise for every body. Total resistant exercise, or TRX, helps develop your core and improve strength. And Zumba toning is probably the funnest way to get fit. The Shake Cafe is a great place to stop by for a meal replacement or supplements. Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
Today's high 86, the low 72. Wow. 67% tomorrow, partly cloudy. Isolated showers, east winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. High 86, low 75, seas 6 to 8 feet. Sunrise 6:29, low tide 8:50 in the morning, followed by high tide 3:43, sunset at 5.
All right. Thank you, Bob.
Hey, they're getting the Christmas decorations up there by the multi-purpose center. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Place is really starting to look good.
Everything.
Christmas
And
spirit.
yeah.
You got your Christmas shopping done?
Not yet.
Tonight, right?
Tonight.
Yeah.
I gotta mail some stuff to my family in this mainland, so.
No, well, then you don't have to bring it here.
No, don't have to come
If
here
you're going to
first.
order online, the deadline is now.
Yeah, gotta do it right now. And did you see Garapan? It looks very beautiful.
Yes.
All the Christmas lights and stuff.
Yeah,
over there.
everything's looking good.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your night. Tune in tomorrow night at 6.
Good night.